whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie
And Nikisha,
where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Welcome, everyone.
I got new lenses.
You did. I was going to say, they look fantastic. Mine are somewhere
I'm
around here.
a big
I'll find them
fan.
and put them on later. But I do have to point out that we have someone with us that actually has his lenses on. He's ready to go.
That's
I'm going to
true.
kick it over to producer Brian and let him introduce our guest for today.
Sure. We are very excited to welcome Slasher Talk, aka Justin Bryant. You have probably seen him on social media, and you will definitely see him as the star of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. Which is super fucking cool.
So fun.
I'd seen him
that a little bit.
Yeah. First on
No,
the
no, no,
call
no.
sheet, he is the honey. Yeah. But I've been watching his content for a long time. His horror content is some of the stuff I stopped at very early on in like getting it onto TikTok. And I really the videos that you do where it's the no bullshit reviews, I always stop and watch those. We met at South by Southwest, and I forced him to come on the podcast. But here
work,
he
Brian.
is. Thank you so much, Justin. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And just for everyone listening or watching, in the description are all of the Slasher Talk links. So check out his podcast, check out his Instagram, his YouTube, as well as his TikTok. It's really solid content, both from a substance standpoint, but also just from a visual standpoint. Really crisp, really clear. The designs, the graphics are spectacular, and his opinions are really well thought out and super interesting. And I'm always interested in what he's interested in. And then I've listened to his podcast, and definitely worth your time. As a Tusk lover, I would suggest watching his listening to his Tusk episode.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, thanks, Justin.
No, thank you.
Love
you can
it.
say more nice things about me if you want.
Sure.
Well, actually, I do have a question for you. First off, because producer Brian was talking about the visuals in your social media, but if y'all are watching on YouTube, which you should be, so switch on over so you can actually look. Justin, please walk us through your backdrop right now because it
your
is
room.
amazing.
It's so funny. I live in this house with my two best friends. Our house is like split, so they have one side of the house all to themselves, and I have my side. When you walk in on my side of the house, it's like nobody lives here. There's like no furniture, nothing. But you walk into my office where I'm here like 98% of my time. So like
Sure.
this is my little like safe haven. I've been collecting this stuff for years. So but I've recently just the last couple years I have gotten back into like physical media because streaming is
Trash.
doing streaming things.
Yeah.
So like the very bottom is like all my Blu-rays, and I've got a VHS collection over here and over here, and just like before I was content, I was a graphic designer, doing movie
That makes
posters
sense.
and T-shirts and things. So, like I love
very
all
cool.
like the very artistic alternative movie posters that I collect
Sure.
and put on my wall, and I've always been in like action figures and toys and things. So it's just me, horror, just
Yes.
fill the space. So
You're
Which
in
is
good company with collectors.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. I know. I can't wait. I'm moving towards the end of the year, and I'm just envisioning the horror wall that I'm about to create that I'm so excited about for my new space. So this is
That's gonna be
giving me a
awesome.
lot of fun inspiration. Now, Justin, we're here to talk about a specific movie. I want you to introduce this movie, and could you just please tell us why you chose to do this movie for the podcast with us?
Drag Me to Hell is a movie that, since doing content, I've like learned that like a lot of people don't like it for some reason. And on this rewatch, I'm sure we'll get into more like the
Into it, yeah.
specifics and things on like you know, what it was like rewatching it in 2026. But like I've always just been a fan of Sam Raimi and like how he does things. It's just a movie that just like it's not necessarily like my cup of tea now, but it's a movie that just lit. It's just a movie that I just have always had a soft spot for. I think it's like that Sam Raimi touch. So when Brian sent over the list, I'm like, this just feels right. I saw it and I was just drawn to Drag Me to Hell. I'm like, let's go with that one.
That's beautiful. Great.
Yeah.
Well, he's already said it, ladies and gents, lads and lasses, all the peoples. Today we're talking about the 2009 supernatural horror film, Drag Me to Hell.
I beg you, and you shame me.
I think your business is finished here, ma'am. Let's go.
Mrs. Ganesh.
Now, this movie was directed and co-written by Sam Raimi, as Justin just brought out, but it's with his older brother, Ivan Raimi, and it stars Alison Lohman, Justin Long, our horror king, Lorna Raver, Dilip Rao, David Paymer, and Adriana Barraza. So heavy spoilers. If you have not seen this 2009 classic, I am going to call it a classic. I'm very excited to get into this. And it's so wild. It's always so wild, the movies that we haven't covered yet. So it's just
I
really
thought we
exciting.
did.
Exactly.
I really thought we did, but I realized we
Yes.
only did the Evil Dead movies when we did Sam Raimi because
Right.
we were always going to do this one. And then this is the perfect opportunity. I really thought we had done it. So when I discovered we didn't, I got very excited.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we are definitely a pro Sam Raimi podcast. All in part to Jamie. I know, giving Jamie her props for
I am
bringing
a
it into
Raimi
my life.
stan. Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, I
You're
love
all
it.
welcome.
So again, heavy spoilers if you have not watched this. And Jamie, please hit us with all the fabulous trigger warnings of this movie.
Sure. Yeah, so this movie features like a curse. So if that is
Get
not
cursed.
your vibe, yeah, well, don't get cursed.
Don't get sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
It features man, there's a lot of mouth things. A lot of mouth things, a lot of mouths, things coming out of mouths, things going into mouths on other mouth areas. There's a lot of blood, but like excessive violent coming out of people. Just other body parts coming in and out of things. There is a couple references to animal death. There are hallucinations. A questionable like couple dynamic, I would say, perhaps.
Okay.
Can't wait to talk about that.
And watching people get dragged into the depths of hell.
The
Grave
title
digging.
delivers. Grave digging, yes.
Yeah, grave digging.
Yeah, like vomiting, people being possessed, animals being possessed.
Mud. You don't like mud.
Sure. Yeah, being attacked in your car, in your house. Yeah, just like demonic presences.
Yeah.
The terrible loan system of America.
Yeah.
Because that is triggering.
Foreclosures, housing
Yeah.
issues.
Also, if you're sad that Alison Lohman didn't keep acting because she's amazing, that's a little bit of a trigger warning.
It's a bit of a trigger.
Yeah, it is such a bummer. She's so good in this.
She's so good in this. She's so good in Matchstick Men. She's so good in Big Fish. She is. I gets like I'm so happy that she was able to just like separate herself and just like take care of her personal life and like be a mom to her kids and whatnot. But like, damn, she is a fine actress in terms of her talent. Like, fuck, she's good. And I just recently rewatched Matchstick Men a couple weeks ago, and I was like, fuck, I definitely miss her on the screen for sure.
Nice.
But I follow her on Instagram, so we're friends.
Loving that parasocial relationship, baby.
You know it. Yeah.
Yeah, we love that.
Amazing. Well, before we...
No, I'm kidding. No.
All right, well, before we get into it, producer Brian's going to give us just a couple of words.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi, YouTube. And if you're listening to us, hello to your ears. Thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're so happy to have you. If this is your multiple time here, thanks for coming back. If you really like the podcast, leave us a review. If you don't like it, just like quietly move away. You don't have to review us or anything. But we really appreciate you being here. If you want more of this nonsense, you can follow us at Talk Horror Pod on social media, TikTok and Instagram. Definitely give us a follow there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it. We have a lot of goals this year, and it only really happens if you follow us. So we appreciate that. That's the word on the street.
Amazing. Well, should we do what have we watched this week? Have you guys watched anything or?
Let's see. I'm halfway. I didn't finish it, but I'm halfway through Frogman 2.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No,
Damn,
I didn't finish it last night. Honestly, once they mentioned Ratma, I fucking lost my mind and didn't finish the movie.
Okay.
But it's good so far. I'll finish it. I'm covering it through
Hail
the
Ratma?
Hail Ratma.
Yes.
I'm finishing it in. I'm covering the unnamed footage, the film festival, virtually, and I just have to watch those movies. But that's the one we watched, and then Jamie and I watched some bangers that were not horror, but did include Justin Long. We watched Waiting.
Okay.
And then we watched I'd never seen Empire Records before, so I corrected that mistake, and we watched Empire Records. And we talked about Darkness Falls last time, right?
No.
Did we?
We didn't?
Mm-mm.
Maybe we didn't.
Oh, we watched Darkness Falls.
Okay.
A classic.
A classic
classic.
evil tooth fairy film from the early 2000s.
Oh, we did talk about it.
We did talk about
Okay.
it. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Once you said Tooth Fairy doing whatever, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's great. Just as to jog everyone's memory.
Sleeping update still sucks, but
Yeah,
it's fun time.
I can definitely suggest the first half of Frogman Returns.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have to share that I watched, just because the playbill is right next to me, the Stranger Things.
Oh
play.
shit! Nice.
Ooh.
It was incredible. I had a friend
Really?
that was in it, and it was her last show. So me and a couple of people were just seeing her last show, and the effects, like the pyro, the acting, the storyline, everything just melded so well together. It was a lot of digital, like LED screen things that were happening as well, but on top of a lot of nice, like practical.
The stage magic was cool.
Say it again.
The stage magic was cool.
Oh, the stage magic. Yeah, I thought it was a stage manager. I'm like, do you know the stage manager?
No, I don't know the stage manager, but so it was your friend's last show. I didn't realize you were friends with the Demogorgon.
Exactly. You know, we're really tight. So sorry.
Yeah,
I
you
got to
and the
get
Demogorgon.
pictures to show, pictures or it's not real. But the Demogorgon, he just hangs at the top of outside of the proscenium until he comes down and makes his fabulous entrance like halfway
That's cool.
through. And it's
The flying
so
monkeys
cool.
of Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So if y'all can go, I will personally babysit Elliot for free so that y'all can go get a ticket and see the show.
All right. I will take you
It's
up
so
on
good.
that.
And I'm so dead ass serious. Like,
Yeah.
y'all need to go see it.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Cool.
But yes, Justin, did you have something that you said you had recently watched that you wanted to share?
Oh, I watch things all the time.
Yes.
I saw Alpha, Julia DeCarno's new movie. I went and saw that with Gigi. I knew nothing about that movie going in other than who directed it, and I love her.
Sure.
So, saw that. Less body horror this time. It's definitely included. Less, but it's a very layered, emotional, deep, bleak film.
Good. Shoot it right into my veins.
Yeah, really, it's getting very mixed reviews, and I definitely understand why. But like, I personally enjoyed it. Then I saw Dead by Dawn. It's this new Polish slasher film that came out like last week. One of the coolest. It's on my podcast episode for tomorrow.
Cool.
Gorge.
One of the
and if you're listening to this, it's already out, so listen to it.
It's already out.
Yeah.
From the future. Dead by Dawn. It's this like very giallo, very like giallo, Dario Argento's opera, but like one of the coolest looking killers I have seen in years.
Cool.
Just like his mask is just so cool. So that was cool. I watched The Deep Dark and then Drag Me to Hell.
Nice.
The Deep Dark's this like, it's a mix between like The Descent and the Mummy. It's like this, they go down into like this like mining shaft, like this mining area, and they have to take this scientist down there to do like this testing, and then where it goes is just like, oh shit, okay.
Is that new, or is that like an older movie? Okay,
yeah, no,
cool.
the Deep Dark. So I guess it hit Fantastic Fest like 2023.
Oh.
And yeah, like years ago, and there's a lot of reviews for it. But
what do you mean? It's only 2021. That's in the future.
It hit Fantastic Fest back in 2023, and I've never seen it officially like released anywhere past last week. So
cool.
I don't know what happened with it, but there you go.
Cool.
Great. Good things to look forward to, look out for. Amazing. Well, we're here to talk Drag Me to Hell, and we need a 2-minute plot summary. And because we have a guest, Justin is going to give us his best 2-minute plot summary, putting as much plot as you can in that time frame for Drag Me to Hell. And producer Brian is going to time you.
What's the plot?
So he'll give you the go ahead when to go.
I will let you know when you're at a minute, and then I'll let you know 30 seconds, and I'll let you know 10 seconds.
So do I just get as far into it as possible?
Well, I mean, try to finish it, but then you can keep going if you don't finish it. I usually take 2 minutes to describe the cold open.
Okay.
Just to the title card.
Yeah. And then with the title card at time. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You got it.
And 2 minutes, go.
Okay, so Drag Me to Hell opens with this family that rushes their kid that's like sick into, they meet this woman that you find out that she's like works with like this supernatural element, and she finds out that the kid had stolen this silver necklace from, I don't know if you can say gypsy now, but that's what they say in the movie, so I'm sorry. And they find out that this, like, because he had stolen this kid was like cursed, and this supernatural demon is now chasing him. And the intro card is super cool because the kid literally at the end of the intro card, or before it, gets literally dragged to hell. And I'm like, children in peril, first 5 minutes. Yes.
Got
sir.
it.
Then we meet this girl, this
1
this
minute
woman named Christine. I'm terrible at this. We meet this girl named Christine. She works at a bank. She's a loan officer, and she ends up meeting this woman named Mrs. Ganush, and she goes against her values and her core, and she makes this decision which goes against Mrs. Ganush, and she like throws her out of her house, but she wants to get this new job at this bank, and then she is cursed by Mrs. Ganush, and the entire rest of the movie
30 seconds
is this demon that is haunting her and chasing her down, and she's got like 3 days before she gets dragged to hell, but she can maybe get out of it by sacrificing her cat, but that doesn't work, and so she finds out that she can maybe give this button back to somebody.
10 seconds.
And I don't want to spoil the rest of it, but yes, she ends up getting back to fucking hell.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the plot.
Yes.
That's a lot harder than you.
Oh yeah.
I get the whole intro card thing. I'm like, oh, I've got time. You're like 1 minute. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Well, there's so many of horror movies are so plot heavy at the beginning, and then you did exactly what we do, where it's like, and then the rest of the movie is like people dying and her escaping from things, and then you have to explain the end. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into the nitty gritty details of the killing. So you're just like, and you just get picked off one by one, and then that's it. Fantastic. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty details with our first segment, Trick or a Treat, where we let you know, first off, was this a trick? We didn't like it. It wasn't our cup of tea. Wow, words today. Or we don't know how we feel about it, or we might be a little neutral about it. Or treat. We absolutely loved it. This is a bop.
Trick or treat.
Justin, trick or a treat?
I'm gonna say treat. I really enjoy this film.
Great. Producer Brian.
Treat. There are very few movies that are like more treat than this. This is an absolute banger treat.
Great. Jamie?
You already know it's a treat for me.
Would it be crazy if I was like, I hated this, but I'm not. I love this. This is a treat for me. So it's treat all around. But I am curious at the discussion we will bring up later, Justin, that you're talking about how people have like an opinion about this. So let's talk about it with likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
Justin, we'll put you up first. Give us any likes and gripes that you have about this movie and the discussion you would like to bring up about people's varying opinions on this and why that might be.
Cool. My likes of this movie have a lot to do with the director, Sam Raimi. His just how he approaches things, and like how his like the over exaggeration sometimes he just leans into this is just going to be a good time. But it's also scary and gory and bloody and gross all at the same time. I think all the performances are honestly spot on, especially from Alison and Justin. And I don't know who plays Miss Ganush off the top of my head, but I thought she was incredible. Like she really sold that character. Just like her coughing and her taking down her teeth, just everything about it was just like, this is gross. But like, yeah, like so all the characters, and just like the overall plot of just like it's not overly complicated, it's simple, and like you can sit back and like just have a good time. You don't really have to think a whole hell of a lot when you're watching Drag Me to Hell. My like rewatching it in 2026, and I think maybe this is kind of goes into the conversation that I was talking about. Like, I'm not much of a horror comedy person these days. I like it. Just there's a line for me when once it crosses, I'm kind of like, oh, like I'm just kind of out. I think if I watched Drag Me to Hell, if it were to come out today, I would maybe go into the theater and watch it and go, there's some cool things, but like it's not my vibe. Like I watched this back in 2009. I was my taste was much different. So like this film just holds a soft spot for me. Also, it was 2020. It was 20 it was 2009 in 2026. Like like some of the CGI and like CGI effects and blood and gore and stuff. You're kind of like, okay, but I think like arguably it kind of leans into the overall tone and vibe of the film.
Can I piggyback off of that, Justin, with the CGI? Because I recently saw a post of someone rewatching, I want to say it was The Mummy 2. Or is that the one where The Rock has the huge CGI, like, scorpion thing? And they're like, how did I not realize when I was watching this at the time how bad this was? And I was watching this.
I think I did realize at the time.
Oh, I knew.
It was. It's really awful.
But maybe you, in a sense, you suspend your disbelief in a way because it's like newer, quote unquote, technology. So you're like, fine, they did what they did. But in watching this, I had the exact same thought, Justin, of like, whoa, because I did not watch this in 2009. I have watched this within the 2020s of it all, but it still had been a couple of years. So in the rewatch, I just had to have a nice little laugh to myself about like early 2000s CGI, but it doesn't take you out of it because like you said, like Raimi is so great about having such a good balance of comedy and kooky and campy, but it's still so disturbing because there's so much goo in this movie.
Oh my god.
So much.
I also think, to jump on that, half of the CGI in this movie is good. The other half is not good.
It's not.
So like the fly stuff, really good. The handkerchief, you could tell, like stuff like that. But what I think that Sam Raimi is the best director, better than Wes Craven, of matching comedy and horror in the same thing. It's going to be to your taste.
That's a hot take.
That is, but I think I agree.
Because something I also realized about this movie when watching it, also, I'll tell a story about my first time watching this movie. But something I really like about this movie is that it follows its own rules. I totally lost my train of thought because I was going to say something related to exactly what you said, and now I can't think of it. So it will come back to me. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to it. But I definitely think that Sam Raimi's handle on it being the comedy versus I was gonna say is his movies work because they are character grounded. The Alison Lohman Christine character is grounded because we get enough of her background. It doesn't feel exposition heavy. We understand that she comes from a rural place. She is now in a corporate job, surrounded by men. She's probably surrounded by men on the farm, or not, because her father died, and then she was just with her mom who didn't. So she wanted to like do something. Sam Raimi does so much showing without telling. The quick shot of her looking at the empty assistant manager's desk is enough to let us know why she's making these decisions. And then all of that is layered with like, I might as well do it now. This is a companion piece to Send Help, because in Send Help, we know everything we need to know about the character based on things that we are shown, not told, and it justifies everything that she does as a character in that. So when the silly, crazy plot happens to her, we're already grounded in her emotional journey. Same thing in this movie. We are grounded in the Chris's emotional journey. We understand what she has been to up until this point without like a big flashback or her sitting down and explaining how working on a farm with just her mother changed how she views the world. Like, no, we didn't need any of that. We're able to cut all of that because Sam Raimi does it in a pithy manner with how he directs, and it leaves room for fucking dentures on the table and a gross face on her chin. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why this.
I'm sorry, and you know who would do the opposite of that? Just in you talking about that is Shyamalan.
Right.
It's like he was the one. He would be the one who would have a flashback. And like
on the farm,
why is she doing
or
all the things?
Was it in Trap where he's like, "Oh, you want to know the exposition? Come here, let me tell you. So this is what's happening. Here, you want a T-shirt for your daughter? It's like, come on, man. Like,
I will never forget that.
No,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna bring up about Sam Raimi. Is I think like, and I'll just bounce off of the point now because you brought it up. Is like he's spent 3 movies with Peter Parker, which was the exact same. Like, he's grounded. You relate to him. He's emotional. So yes, it's a comic book movie, but when all these crazy things, like, you love Peter Parker. And Sam Raimi didn't write Peter Parker, but like, you can see how he relates to those kinds of characters, because the first thing that he did after completing the Spider-Man trilogy was Drag Me to Hell. And it's a very similar character. He quickly, like you said, Brian, like, you care about Christine and you relate to her. So when all these crazy things happen, and then I was going to bounce off and like, the first horror that he does in years is, well, horror, I put in quotations, but like, send help. Linda's the same. Like, it's all Peter and Linda and Christine, like, they're all in that same little circle. So I think he loves that kind of character, and you can definitely see it.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have other likes and gripes that you would like to add to the discussion, Justin?
No, I'll let you guys rock and roll. Yeah,
great. Jamie, go forth.
Cool. I love this movie.
And period.
I love this movie. I love this movie.
I can't exactly remember my first time seeing it, but I assume it was in theaters at some point when I was in college. And yes, I love Sam Raimi. I think the first time I saw The Evil Dead was also in college, like my freshman year, and I was like, I'm locked in. And so like, I will watch any horror movie directed by Sam Raimi. And I knew that it had been a while since he had made horror. I also really enjoyed all the Spider-Mans. So I was really excited about this. And this was just like, this gave me everything that I wanted. I was like eating this up. So I've definitely watched it several times over. And so like the things that would normally give me discomfort, as I've mentioned before, I don't like mouth things, very anti-mouth things in horror movies. So you would think that this would be like the absolute worst movie for me, but over time, I'm like unbothered by all of this, but it's still like gross. This is a disgusting movie. It's just like the oh God, what's it called? The Foley is like repulsive, but they do such a good job because you can like hear all the mouth sounds and everything is so wet and gushy and like it's just gross, but I love it because it's so extreme. And I mean, again, Christine's just getting like the absolute shit kicked out of her, and there's this like push and pull of like, does she deserve the degree of like stuff that she's experiencing? And like you're kind of questioning it because it's all like truly so awful that you're like, who would deserve like everything that she's having to go through between like these hallucinations and just like, you know, being embarrassed at her job, being embarrassed with her, like every part of her life is being ruined. And she is pretty helpless throughout the whole thing. And I feel like that in some ways is also like something that's deeply bothers me, like empathizing with a character who's just going through so much. And like, you feel bad when somebody is going through something and you're like, there's a difference between a character who's like dumb and shitty that you're like, yeah, they got what was coming to them. And like, I don't care that this is happening to them. This one I feel like is a little bit more challenging because I'm like, is the thing that she did by rejecting the loan, is that something that then warrants this degree of like consequences that she's experiencing? And like, I think over time, maybe yes, more, but I think that's based in the context of like where we are in 2026, right? Like with
agree,
you know, like
fully.
Can we like get houses? No, like starter homes, that doesn't exist anymore. And so I feel like it kind of hits in a different way because of just like, you know, where we're at with the housing market. Plus this was 2009, which like the crash was what, 2008? Yeah. So like it's also timely in like that too, where there was like this huge housing market crash. And now here we are in 2026 where like, you know, we're in a recession, everything's expensive, and like this is the state of the world. So like imagine like the bank denying you a loan to like keep your house when it's already hard enough to get houses. So like I think that this is even more it sounds really silly because of what this movie is, but like it's kind of poignant for, you know, the current state of the world.
Especially with the caveat of like keeping up with the boys, or like going against your not maternal, but like your female instincts to take care of people, and like that is your job to like try and make the tough decisions just to keep up with shitty people who are male, like in a male dominated bank world.
Yeah.
I love this conversation because I have pretty much all of what you guys are talking about written down in my notes. I paused like after the first 20 minutes. I just start writing, like seeing it from a 2026 lens, but I could feel my TikTok comments going, "It's not that deep, bro." I'm like, but like it's right there, man. It's
right
there. That's
horror's
so
political.
Oh, don't get don't get me started on
Get
that.
started. Let's go, Justin.
Let's go.
I try to walk this line with that stuff because I get yelled at every day. I'm like, dude, but it is like it's not that deep, but it is.
It absolutely is.
Exactly what you said. Like, go back 2009. If I would have not been 18 years old, graduating high school, if I would have been able to buy a house during the house market crash, I was 4 years late when my ex-wife and I decided like we are finally in a spot where we can buy a house. Like the fact that this movie came out in 2009, like right during it is that deep. Like, but it's just telling it in this very Sam Raimi horror comedic way. But the entire plot of this movie is based on like her denying this old woman that's sick and can't afford her house. She denies her an extension, and it goes against her core values and beliefs because she's in this male-dominated, manipulated, dirty tricks work environment that, guess what, hasn't changed since then, by the way.
No. Because he made the same fucking movie, just nicer,
literally
this year.
The same movie, but it's not. But it's the same.
Right.
But it same, but not. Like, so it's just like you can't look me in my eyes and tell me horror is just not that. No, like you're fucking wrong, and I'm sorry.
So you're telling me that Ganush was basically Luigi before Luigi was Luigi, is what I'm hearing.
That's what I'm saying, man. She's like, today is your day, motherfucker. Like,
yes.
Yep.
But also, like, if you know anything about Sam Raimi, like the meticulous eye that he has for all the special effects and the blood and all of that, he doesn't just like save it for that. Like, he's obviously putting in this detail into all that stuff. So like it just like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me to love horror or like horror or understand horror or watch horror and totally not be able to get past your own shit to allow it to just like be. You don't have to like watch it for that reasons, but you can't deny the fact all art is political. It inherently is. Therefore, this is genre films are even more like, you're gonna watch like people who get fucking imperial tattoos or who get dark mark tattoos. I'm just like,
talked about this
just put a fucking swastika on your shirt. Like, what are you like? What are we doing? They represent this thing. Disney has a fucking an imperial first order only like shop at the store. I'm just
that
like,
was shocking to me when we saw that at Disney World. That blew my mind. Because like, who's seeking that out? Like, of course, there's like complex characters who are kind of like, you know, I know that this isn't even the movie, but like, it's just, you know, I think that there's then other characters who are just straight up bad. And it's like, why are we like celebrating them? And why do we want to buy their merch?
My friend Jay sent me a TikTok of a guy being like, listen, I want to personally apologize to George Lucas because empires are built on trade wars, and the characters in the Star Wars movies look just as silly as the ones in real life who are creating an empire. So this is my personal apology to George Lucas, because you got it right before we were willing to listen to you. I was fucking on the floor. Anyway, reeling it back.
Yes, Jamie, please continue.
Yes, so that's my political take on this movie. But again, as a Raimi stan, I love the like the jump cuts and the everything that's like zoomed in on like the mouth stuff. How many times this woman is just like on her chin, like sucking on it. Fucking gross.
So
yeah. Yeah. And like, again, we are practical effects lovers here, and there are a lot of like really disgusting practical, like we talked a little bit about the CGI and how like some of it holds up, some of it doesn't, but like, yeah, just like all of this other gross stuff that they're doing in real life is always so enjoyable, and like really it just adds more flavor to the experience, because you're like, yeah, they did that and that's gross. Like when her nose, obviously like the actual nosebleed is fake, but like the blood going everywhere all over her desk, it's so excessive. And then it gets on her boss and he's like, did any of it get in my mouth? Like it's
Dude,
so
I wrote that down. I've seen this movie, so his delivery and just in that moment, he's like, did any of it get in my mouth? Bro, there is so much that you should be more concerned about right now.
Exactly.
His delivery of that line, and then he doubles down and says it again when she's walking. Dude, that's the kind of horror comedy where I'm like, this is my shit, right?
And he's incredible in this movie because he's a total asshole, like piece of shit. But his energy presents as this like fatherly type figure. Even though he's not like, I would never call him like not an asshole, but like the energy that the actor brings to the role allows you to question a little bit of everything until like certain behaviors come out, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And just like everything that she's willing to do to avoid this potential consequence, like it's really interesting. And we've talked about other movies where it's like, how far would you go for things that you want or things that you don't want? And this is definitely one of those situations where you're watching somebody like challenge their own morals and ethics and values, like with the cat. She's like, I mean, she comes from this like farm background and like out in rural area, and is now like a vegetarian, and the idea of her having to like murder a cat with the hope that it even has some kind of positive outcome for her is like horrifying. And
without a monologue that's like, I'm a vegetarian and I grew up on a farm, so I can't kill a cat. Like, we put that all together because Sam Raimi is amazing versus M. Night Shyamalan being like, let me tell you all these 10 things. We love him here. Just but we understand what he does. Yeah. Sorry, I got excited about it.
There's also that layer you brought up of like, how far will you go? But like, there's also that layer of like, how far is she willing to go to not be real with herself and like confess that like the boss said, this is your decision. And like, she made that decision in the entire movie. She's not confessing to anybody. She's still saying, oh, it was my manager. It wasn't me. No, it was you. Like, yeah, like the manager, I agree, Brian, like he was very in a manipulative kind of way of like, I'll leave it up to you, but the way that you choose to do this is whether you get that chair.
Yeah,
exactly. So like,
absolutely.
Kind of overplaying her hand. Like that's the whole layer of the character. But like the entire movie, she does not until the very end where she's like, this was my choice, and like I shouldn't have made that choice. But like, how far is she willing to go to hide that?
Yeah. it's a lot of this like self-denial. Like she's in denial of this choice that she made, and like this whole time she's like, well, you know, like it wasn't really me, up until the end, like up until the very end, right before she, you know, is taken, she is denying her role and responsibility with everything that's happened. And it's, I mean, I think even that is very just real. But what were you going to say?
So do you, because I wrote this down, and I don't know if I'm like putting too much on it, but like I would say that she makes that decision for selfish reasons. Like that came from being selfish.
Yeah.
Like
I would agree.
I'm gonna throw this old woman out on the street that's sick and can't afford her house because I want to move up the corporate ladder. And
yeah.
So like to deal with like the one time that because I relate to Christine in a way of like not being overly confident, being a people pleaser, and like not really thinking of myself in certain situations. So I felt this high, like the one time that you're thinking about yourself in the future, you get this fucking demon curse, and like you
that's
never
real,
be
man.
selfish ever again.
That's real.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, when we are like this people pleasing of prioritizing everybody else's needs versus our own. But I also still think that like it is this pressure to fit in within an environment that like she is the minority in. And so like how much more does she have to do in order to get what she wants? And I think that like I agree that she in her, it's almost like she goes too far instead of just like, you know, I want this role and like what can I do? It's like going to the extreme in order to like think that she's matching up with these other like men within the space, but it ends up like I think being just a significantly more aggressive, I guess, like attempt to meet them where they're at in order to have this opportunity. And I think the only reason I think that is because of the consequences. Like if she, you know, maybe that conversation with Miss Ganoush could have looked different, where, you know, she could have been more empathetic and like aligned with who she was while also, you know, doing something to still stand out as a potential like to get this potential promotion. But yeah, I think it's there's so much of her like not aligning, I think, with her own values that also makes it hard. And I think that's part of why maybe she's like in denial that she made this choice, because like I think there is like guilt in the choice that she made, and then obviously the guilt is like way higher because all this shit's happening to her. And instead of like really sitting with herself and being like, I did do this, and like, you know, that it wasn't right of me, that she also embarrasses Miss Ganoush. Like she, you know,
shamed me.
Yeah. And like, oh man, that part's like very upsetting, because it's like this old woman who's like, I'm gonna lose my home, and like, you know, even if she's gotten 2 extensions before, she's still like, I'm you know, I'm still good for the money, I just need time. And like again, like could there have been something there, an opportunity there in order to help her? And instead, like she makes this more selfish choice that is kind of against her own character, I would say.
Yeah. And she made a very black and white selfish decision when there, like you said, there's a gray area in there where you can be like, listen, I'm going to get this promotion, I'm going to get it next week, and then I'll be able to help you more. Or be like, hey, let me look at the numbers, come back tomorrow, we can talk this out, as a, you know what I mean? Because then she can still tell her boss, I said no.
Yeah. Right. You know what it reminds me of? I'm going to bring up another movie that's not this movie. The Incredibles. when Mr. Incredible works for the insurance company also. And he like gives this woman, he's like, you need to go down to this office and you need to file form 21683D. And then, but also like leave the cubicle and like cry so that like nobody knows that I'm like telling you this. Yeah. It's like you could have maybe worked something out like that where at least like there's still, you know, that you could potentially have both outcomes, you know, be an option. But yeah, I've just been bringing up all these other movies to explain why I love this movie. But ultimately, this movie is gross. I love when the goat gets possessed. It's so fucking silly. I
fucking love a goat.
Yeah, you know, we love Black Phillip. Would you like to live deliciously?
We like to live deliciously.
Phillip. And just her being attacked in her car is wild. Her going to the funeral and like falling on the body is wild. Yeah, her seeing the like blood ooze out of her cake, or her whatever she made. Was it a cake, a pie? A harvest
pound
cake.
Yeah.
Where she like stabs it is wild.
This is the eye.
Yeah. And then ultimately, like the last thing that I really love is Justin Long's face at the end, where he is like, I don't think that he fully believed her throughout this movie. And then there is that moment of like shock and horror. He is horrified that all of this was actually true. It's like so many different pieces are like, you're seeing this person that you love, that you want to like potentially marry, like like dying, but also in like a terrifying way, and realizing like, oh my God, she was right the whole time. And I didn't like necessarily, like, she's always like, do you believe me, right? And he's like, yeah, but like, it's not totally convincing until he sees it happen and he's like crying. But I think it's more that like, it is this acknowledgement that this was real and that he maybe didn't do enough to support her in that. So
yeah,
I mean, I love that.
I believe that he believed that she believed. Whether or not he thought it was real or not is the other. Yeah, but totally.
Yeah. He went from, this situation cannot get any worse. She fell backwards, getting ready to be ran over by a train. And then it got worse. Significantly. This poor man experienced probably two of the worst things that he's ever going, just in 20 seconds.
Yep.
He's got the ring. I'm going to propose to her. Oh my God, she's about to get ran over by a train. Oh my God, she's being drugged to hell. Hello.
Yeah.
Like,
Excuse me?
Jamie, exactly. Like his face, just again, without saying anything, you're like, yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
And also just like the despair.
Yeah, it's such an epic way to end it too, with like there's nothing afterwards, it's just his face and then title card. Like,
and that's why this movie is memorable.
Yes.
The end. It's a great movie, but the end is what makes this movie memorable. And also my intrusive thought at the end of this movie was, one, you know that this is a mean movie when the fucking bitch mother wins.
Yes.
Two, he's not gonna get got by anybody because like they like died, like run over by a train, pulverized, whatever. Like when we talk about the end of Ready or Not, forget about the sequel for a second. Like, and you're not like, you're like, this was great, awesome, but like, I mean, the rest of her life is just court cases. Like, you know what I mean? Like until we got the second movie. This one, it's like, well, like he kind of got off easy on this one because she got run over by a train, even though no one will ever believe him that she, you know what I mean?
100%.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Nuts.
But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Amazing. I'll piggyback off of that because I don't have much to add. I just want to point out the soundtrack to this. Like the music in this throughout absolutely adds so much to all of the scenes in the best way of what we talk about of Sam Raimi's like making things so epic and so over the top. And I think that he just chooses the best orchestration to score everything that's happening in this. And I think this go around, I really was kind of like tuned in to how the music was affecting the scenes and how well they meshed together.
And if anyone cared, I just got a phone call that I was approved for a loan that I never applied for. So
Shut
yeah, hey,
up.
maybe it's Christine.
Wow.
Christine's coming from hell, being like, "I got you,
Yeah.
Brian."
I know, right?
Ah, yes, so much goo. Love it. My favorite of the gooey scenes was the funeral moment, and the CGI goo that was coming out of her mouth into Christine was it still was just so stellar. I also want to point out the makeup of the old woman was excellent. Whoever chose that design for the eye and even everything down to the tapping of her nails, which I thought was just so creepy and excellent and gorgeous.
But also, get your filthy pig knuckle off my desk.
Oh, so hell yeah.
That part.
2, great character moment, because who the fuck says pig knuckle? You know who does? Someone who worked on a farm and grew up on a farm. When they're in this stressful situation, the farm girl comes out. And I fucking loved that. Like, it felt real to the moment. You know what I mean?
And another thing to add to the details of her trying to get out of that farm life was at the top of the scene when we first meet Christine and she's trying to do the diction pronunciation stuff. And there's that just adds another underlying layer of like, I'm trying to get out of my life as this farm girl, so I want to change how I talk.
That's an awesome point.
There's that little bit where you could hear the country accent and she's trying to like
round vowels, which always reminds me of Singing in the Rain, which is one of my favorite things.
Sure.
Like, can't stand
them. Bounce off of the makeup when she sits up from the nightmare, and you get that goes back, and Miss Ganush is in the bed, like the extra makeup that they put on her when she throws up all the maggots, worms and flies and roaches and shit.
So good.
Yes, sir. This is amazing.
And another reveal of hers that I like too was the first reveal in the car where we're following the hanky in the wind,
So,
and then it's just like turning around and see in the back seat. Excellent.
The movie.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you end it first.
Well, I just want to finish. And I like the fact that it wasn't like a immediate loud noise and we see her. It was a moment of let's pan the camera over and we slowly reveal her in the silence. And then we're connecting the dots all together without it being like the extension of let's also add this loud sound so we can have like a jump scare of it. It's like, no, how you set it up was perfect. It was great.
So that happens multiple times in this movie. That I wrote it down because that point of view pan shot, you do get the demon shot that one time when they're walking down the street. But like this movie is very much, it happened in The Office with the fingernails as well. You're panning across the office, you see Stu, it's going to her desk, and then you see the fingernails. Same thing with this one with the car and then her in the back. I think it happens one or two more times in this. And it's so effective. And it's so nonchalant in a way that it's not like a oneer where you're like, oh, this is a fancy camera shot. Or even the demon point of view, like, oh, here's the Sam Raimi demon run. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But these are more nonchalant and are just like so wonderful to kind of internalize as you're watching this thing.
Yeah. Two more things. One is a slight gripe because I know everyone is discussing how great the actress is for Christine. There were a couple moments at the end though where I kind of was tilting my head because there were some specifically in the seance scene, there was a line that she delivered of like, but I'm scared. But how she delivered it was so like low stakes where I'm like, girl, are we living in the same place right now? With
fair,
the
totally
stakes?
fair. Yes.
So there was just like some tiny moments where a little bit of her acting did take me out of it because how high the stakes were was not reflected in how she was communicating or delivering some of the lines and some of her. She has a very beautiful face, but her face also is very neutral sometimes, and so in some of the scenes where it could have been a little bit more expressive for me just kind of took me out just a tiny bit. But that's a tiny gripe. That doesn't overshadow how I feel about the entire movie. It was just this go around. It was noticeable to me. Last thing I'll say is 2 quotes that were my favorite. "Choke on it, bitch" was my favorite. Love that.
Yes.
I'm just trying to put the button on. But my favorite was, "I don't want your cat, you dirty pork queen." And I cried laughing at that.
That was so funny.
And just throws at the cat balloons. Yep. And just throws at the cat. It was excellent. Brian, go for it.
All right.
Take us home.
Okay. The opening is fantastic. It's funny. It's brutal. It really sets the tone. Justin mentioned, like, if you're not afraid to kill a kid at the beginning of your movie, this movie is going to be like whatever you want it to be.
Fuck them
Wonderful
kids.
title card. And the best thing about the title card is every time someone gets dragged to hell, the title card comes in and it bookends the movie, and it's spectacular. And I could see another sequel to this where you open with Alison Lohman and then, you know what I mean? Like, and then you go into the next story. Like it kind of like connects there. I loved that. I thought the credits were fantastic with the curse. So we're learning about the curse and the rules as we're going through the opening credits. Love that. She's very young to be a loan officer, but that's fine. Sam Raimi loves his misogyny in the workplace. His mom is a C word. And douchey men just playing the game is his like thing right now. We watched it with subtitles on. It said moist gagging. Thank you, subtitles writer. The dentures is so gross. Yeah. We talked about, also something we didn't talk about is like a woman helping another woman out. Like that also I think plays a little bit into that as well.
Not a girl's girl.
Not a girl. Oh my God. The stapler in the car was fantastic. Also, did she not have a stapler at home? I know she had to work on the presentation, but like you think that she has all these like office supplies at home, but that's not the point. The car scene is great, mouth on mouth. Just drive away. What are you still doing there? Like, drive away. We got the demon cam. When he's like, did you like fuck with a grave or play with a Ouija board when they go into the fortune teller? That was great. Also, I assume that she rents that house. There's no fucking way that she can afford that house at this time. Anyway, maybe she did. Maybe she bought it during the collapse. This movie has one of my least favorite fucking tropes. My biggest pet peeve in a movie. Get better Photoshop. How do all of these photos from the past look so shitty? You literally are having someone spit up maggots and it looks real, but you can't fucking put a young Alison Lohman in front of a pig, making it seem like she's on a farm. Like, fuck that noise. Another incredible moment in this movie is when when it's that close-up of Alison Lohman, the pans start to shake, and then the camera zooms out through the pans, revealing them shaking. Fucking incredible shot. The DP on this was incredible. I don't know who it was, but just truly great. The maggot dream is wonderful. Some of the effects hold up. The fact that Stu is up for assistant manager and doesn't know the loan procedures is actually the scariest part of this movie. The like buddy bro between Stu and like, it's just so obvious. And for a manager of a branch who later in the movie can pick apart Stu when he's coming to his house, like trying to blame Alison Lohman for everything, is the same person who's being like wooed by, is just like so fucking infuriating. Yeah, piece of fucking shit. A pet peeve that I have with movies that was not in this movie is that whenever a phone number is 555, because it's fake, it pulls me out. It's just not a real phone number. It doesn't fucking matter. I would argue that 555 phone numbers pull me out more than bad CGI. That's a crazy thing to say, but it's true. This movie, when she gets a phone call, does not have a fake number. It was real, and I was like, hell yeah, now I want to call it. But I was very happy with that. Her gaining the family's favor in that scene is so fucking satisfying. Like, to see the mom and the dad really start to like warm up to her. But my butthole is clenched the whole time because I know this is gonna get fucking awful. But here's the question. There comes a point where if you believe that you are under some curse and the cake has fucking maggots in it, you just put your fork down and don't do anything. You know it's not real. If you know you're
it's
at a
not
curse,
real.
you just fucking stop. You don't keep going. And that bothers me about this movie. I think this movie, a gripe that I have with this movie is that she keeps putting herself in situations where it would behoove her to just fucking take a step back. And I'm not even talking about going to the dinner, but like if the cake has maggots in it, take a step back and fucking don't mess with the maggots. You know what I mean? Like if you hear a knocking, just try compartmental. Like I understand that it's not because it's not in your head. And so at that point, she already killed the cat. She knows it's not in her fucking head. So like that's a pet peeve I have with this movie. I think something that's more effective in this movie is if the things were actively coming after her, like maggots out of her. Like, honestly, that scene could have been way more effective if shit's happened to her and she's just like trying to keep her shit together at the same time. And it's like, anyway, that really bothers me that she would just keep fucking with this shit when she knows it's not actually there. And it's been proven to her that it's not actually there outside of the actual demon. Like the demon who actually anyway. So there's that. Why is there an anvil in her barn?
To be fair, on the rewatch when Miss Ganesh has her entire fucking forearm and fist in her mouth, and she's like, "Oh, there just happens to be a Looney Tunes anvil here. Let me just cut this off."
I know.
Fucking quick.
I was expecting. I didn't remember. I was expecting a chainsaw. At least,
Evil Dead.
Yeah, at least just like a cameo, if you will, in the barn.
The Mrs. Ganesh does drive the
classic. Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi scripts are tight. We talked about that. I love that when they go to the medium that something that felt very real about this movie is that she keeps speaking Spanish. She's like, I can't explain all this in English, so I'm just going to tell it in Spanish. I loved that. It was not like forcing this like mystical Spanish woman to like talk in English. Like she was explaining it the way that she could and it was being translated. I really loved that. That felt very real. The spirits in the seance are fucking awesome. Valak's in there, or the woman who plays Valak is in there. Like it's fucking great. Yes. That whole thing is great. There's a moment where when what do you call it dies and they like closing her eyes, the medium. I think she closes her own eyes. Like it was just a poorly done shot.
Because it's like barely touching her.
Also, and now you fucking tell me that I could have given the button to someone else, and I'm glad she said something. Also, what a fucking asshole for not. I think it thematically it ties into the fact like, is she ready to ethically like do something outside of the box now that she already kind of did it? But like you couldn't have. I killed a cat. I could have given this button to a homeless guy. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like and the over the top, who am I going to give it to in the diner scene is amazing. Like it's like some like Titanic shit where like you're watching the old couple hug each other before it goes down. Like I fucking loved that. I love how the old man in the road doesn't yell at Justin Long, who's driving, yells at the woman in the passenger seat. I thought that whether that was just like a narrative thing because she feels like she's being anyway, that I thought that was weird. The running gag of pulling the hair is fucking hilarious in this movie. I equate it to the in Ready or Not 2 that the family can't shoot. Like just these stupid running gags is very funny to me. Some of the dread in that fight scene in the mud is not dreadful because we know she's not going to drown. You know what I mean? It feels very prequel. Like I know these characters aren't going to die situation. The water transition from the rain to the shower is spectacular.
Very good.
Love that shot.
We talked about how this is a companion piece to send help. In that movie, so in this movie, it's a mean version of not going with your gut in a male-dominated environment. And the one good quote male is too good to a fault where he fucking returns your button. The other movie is, about there's no good men in that one. And and even at the end, the two bad men in the Sam Raimi movies, one is trying to fucking manipulate her, Linda, and send help, but saying that she loves her and whatnot. This one, he like thanks her so much for not turning her in, and then he goes to try and fucking turn her in anyway. Like, oh my god, so good. Also, all of the fighting from beyond the grave felt very real, but accidental at the same time. And I thought it was so masterfully choreographed. I think this movie is masterfully choreographed. And then the end, I will never forget this ending. This is one of the all-time great horror endings. And it is an ending that is in, if this movie ends with them on the train and then like you see a shadow somewhere, that's not memorable. Like, who fucking cares? That's every other movie, but this one just makes a decision, and if you like it or not, that's up to you. But this movie makes a decision, and there are a lot of recent horror movies that make decisions at the end, whether you like them or not. Like him, it makes a decision and it goes with it. You may love it, you may not love it. The Substance, you may love it or not love it, but it makes big decisions at the end, and I think that big swings are excellent swings regardless of how you feel about it. But now a 2-minute story time. I found my Drag Me to Hell ticket, and I found the next day I apparently saw Up. Very different
oh wow,
very different
okay.
vibes.
How funny.
That's a great
yes.
Yeah. And then I saw The Hangover. Oh, that's a month later. Never mind. The week before I saw Night at the Museum 2, maybe. Okay, so I saw Drag Me to Hell. You can't really see it. Opening night at the Manahawkin Regal in New Jersey at 8 p.m. For $9.50. Now, I went to this movie with my friend Gary. Shout out to Gary. And it was full of fucking teenagers. I was out of college, so I'm what, 22? Something like that, 23. No. Yeah, right? Yeah. So I'm like 22, 23, something like that. It's like this is May 29th. It's 2 days after my birthday. So I'm in the movie theater. I'm with all these high schoolers. It's a summer, or the beginning of the summer. And the movie starts, and everybody in the audience is fucking talking. Everybody, they all must know each other from high school. They're throwing popcorn at each other. Nobody's watching the fucking movie. I'm losing my mind.
This is Brian's literal worst nightmare.
This is my worst nightmare.
This is your villain origin
Everyone's
story.
like, I love Scream 2. I'm like, I would leave that movie theater in a second. That's not how you act at a movie. It doesn't matter. So so think of Scream 2. This is actually what happened. And I'm the ghost face in this one. So I went out and I talked to the fucking manager, and I'm like, listen, this is insane. Like, but at that point it was the whole audience. So like, they can't do anything about it. What are you gonna do? Kick everyone out of the movie theater and just have it be me and my friend? That would have been great. But anyway, it just, the whole movie, I really was only half paying attention. The only thing I really remember from the movie is the Ganoush stuff in the loan office and the end, the fight scene into the finale. I'm just like losing my mind, but I don't even walk out. I sit there. I sit through the whole movie, and then I swear to God, the person behind me gets a phone call and answers it. And I turn around and I say, give me the phone. I was like, give me the phone. Give me the fucking phone. If this is how if this is how you're going to be treating everyone else in your movie, I said, give me the fucking phone. And he didn't know what to do. He was like, he didn't know what to do. Cause like, there's that scene in, was it Californication, where they throw David Duchovny's phone across the fucking, I was going to take it and give it back to him at the end of the movie. And then my buddy Gary turns around and says like, listen, you're being an asshole to the guy, not to me.
Yeah.
You're being an asshole. Yes. He's gonna take your phone, and so you either need to hang up right now, or you need to fucking like, you need to like get out of this movie theater. And the guy hung up on the friend and was shut the hell up. He shut up the whole rest of the whole movie. No one else did. So this is the worst movie experience I've ever had in my entire life. However, I saw Up for free the next day because I got free movie tickets, like 5 free movie tickets. Nice. Then I watched this, and then I finally watched this on DVD, like when it came out a year later. And then yesterday or 2 days ago when we watched it, this was only my 3rd time watching this movie, and this was the best time watching it because I know Sam Raimi a lot better now that we've done this podcast, and since marrying Jamie, she shares all of her Sam Raimi love with me. 2, I just think I'm a more seasoned movie watcher, and I was able to like understand what was happening below the plot surface, and I think this movie is fantastic. So I will never be thankful for those guys in that movie theater. But I definitely think because of that awful experience, I definitely appreciate this movie more as something that does not phone things across. It treats its audience, unlike the audience treating the movie with respect, the movie treats the audience with respect.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Amazing. Well, with that being said, do we have any other lasting thoughts before we move on? I think that's a good segue into our next segment of brains. Tasty.
Yum.
So, Justin has a question for Jamie, so I'll kick it over to Justin.
Jamie, we've talked a lot about like the underlying plot of Christine's decision and how that is pretty much the catalyst for the entire film. And I think the movie does a really good job of like displaying in how a decision can come back and like haunt you. So how does making a decision that goes against a person's core values and beliefs affect a person going on into like their day-to-day life? How does that bleed into their days moving forward?
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
Great question. Great question. Wow. Came prepared.
So,
Great
like,
question.
I think that it makes somebody like deeply unhappy. Like, I'd be curious if she wasn't cursed and she did deny this loan and she did get promoted, that would have an impact on her because of what she had to do. And like, you know, I can give an anecdote of like working for an organization where like initially I really aligned myself with the values of the organization. And then over time, it seemed like there were a lot of changes internally, and it was clear to me that this actually, I think, happened multiple times to me now that I'm thinking about it. Nonprofits are wild. But the like core missions of these organizations were slowly no longer aligning with my personal values, and it creates this like tension, this like internal tension, because you know there is this ethical dilemma of, can I still work here, you know, knowing that I care about like, you know, the clients I'm working with, the people that are affected by this work. However, the organization at large perhaps doesn't in the same way. And then me personally as a person and as a social worker, so it's like multi-layered, where like my profession also has its own ethics and values that like I uphold. And then me personally, I align with the ethics that, you know, social work requires of people, but also like that I believe in for myself. And that tension made me deeply unhappy in all of those spaces. And ultimately, like, that is what led me to leave those organizations. So I think that
confirm.
I think that, yeah, I think that, you know, those decisions that are more weighty in terms of like the impact that it has on our person and on our character, continue to like just add this pressure, or maybe this like, you know, self-critical attitude of like, was that the right choice? I don't know if it was. I mean, I think another example like within career paths is the idea of golden handcuffs, that like sometimes people are working at organizations that they might not align their personal values with the organization's mission and values. However, they're being compensated very well, and therefore they know that if they leave, they're not going to be compensated in the same way. But there's still that tension. And like, I think a lot of those people are unhappy with those jobs, and they have to show up day in and day out. And so like, I think that those decisions have that impact on like our well-being and our like what we're passionate about. And it definitely weighs on us. It weighs on our mental health and well-being. It weighs on, it impacts our, I would say like it impacts burnout, where like we're probably more likely to be burnt out because like we're not enjoying what we're doing anymore, or at least we don't feel like what we're doing is good for us personally. So like I definitely think it depends. These are just some anecdotes, but I think it kind of explains why certain decisions that we make might continue to stick with us if we don't feel like they align with our goals. And another thing that I'll say is like there's also this like regret that comes up for a lot of people. It's like, oh, I should have made this choice. I should have made that choice. And like, this is a separate thing from, the values conversation. But I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves around decisions that we make where maybe the outcome is not what we were hoping it would be. And we beat ourselves up and say like, I should have known better. But I think we have to remind ourselves that we are making, in theory, right, we're making the best decisions for ourselves at any given time. And we can only make a decision based on the resources and information we have at the time that we are making that choice. Obviously, after we make a decision, we get more information because we made the choice. And so now like new information is available, but we didn't have access to that at the point that we were deciding whether or not we wanted to make that choice. And so I think people are more critical of themselves after they make a decision when they need to acknowledge that like we're just making the best choices for ourselves most of the time based on what we know. And, at that time we thought that was the right choice. And, acknowledging that like, just because we put our best effort into something does not necessarily mean that we will recoup the benefits or the consequences that we hope we do.
Love that.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's a great answer. My question for you, Jamie, has to deal with the relationship between Justin Long and his mom and the expectation of her wanting him to settle down with a specific type of person. So as a parent yourself, how would you balance guiding your child so that they don't make decisions that will hurt them, because you obviously do have more life experience to offer to them, versus giving your child like enough space and opportunity to like figure out what they like and kind of make their own mistakes so that they can get that information to be able to move forward, and specifically in dealing with romantic relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging. Obviously, my child is 19 months old, so like yes. Haven't really faced any significant challenges yet. But I do think like it's really hard when you want to encourage like independence and autonomy, but also there might be things that like as adults we've experienced and been through. And I think that like giving information can be helpful in like guiding, young people to hopefully make good decisions. I think that there's some exceptions of like really dangerous things where it's like, hey, like this is super risky and like I'm not okay with this. And so like I think again, context is important. But yeah, I mean, I think like if we've had personal experiences, like we can share anecdotes and like be upfront and transparent around those things, within whatever is age appropriate, in an effort to like let them know what the real life consequences could be, so that they're able to make like the most informed choices that they can. I think that like when I think a lot of the times when parents are like imposing so much of what they want their kids to do, like it ends up causing a lot more like I think not harm is not the right word, but like I think that there can be some like unhealthy things that come out of that, because obviously like your child is still their own independent person, and like you're denying them the ability to like live their own life. And in turn, how is that going to impact your relationship moving forward as they get older? How is that going to impact like, the things that they do end up exploring because they felt like they were restricted from it, or, you know, that it was like taboo or whatever. I think when you're more open and like, you know, transparent, that it potentially can increase again, there could be exceptions to the rule, and I'm only speaking from like a parent, but like a parent of a toddler, that like it hopefully will encourage decisions that like we're all aligned with. And I think that's also like based in values, like how are we imparting our values on our family in a way that like, you know, because we do have that control, you know, to some degree, of like these are our values, and like these are the ways that we want to like impart them on you, and like these are things that we think are important that we would like you to also like find important, and like finding that line between like, you know, you have to do this thing or else, versus like, you know, these are the options, and these might be some things that like you can expect based on XYZ.
Yeah,
I love that.
Great answer.
Yes, right. And last thing, just having to dealing with the scene where Christine has that first encounter with the demon at home by herself, and Justin Long is talking to police, doctor, whoever came to like check in on them, and they're discussing that it was just a PTSD. She was just reliving trauma from her attack at the bank. Which felt a little gaslighty to me. So my question to you is, what would have been a better way to kind of comfort Christine in that moment? Instead
Comfort
of
who?
kind of throwing who? Christine? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Then throwing out, you know, psychological terminology, because Justin Long was a psychology professor in this movie, which I don't think we also like put that out there, which is wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was a good dynamic. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very interesting dynamic with that. So yeah, my question is, what would have been a better way, instead of just like throwing out a very real thing of PTSD, but it's kind of like undermining her lived experience?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a way to like acknowledge someone's lived experience, even if you don't believe or agree, again, within reason. If somebody's like actively trying to harm themselves, like I think that that's a different situation. But I think if they are, you know, like believing something that's maybe outside of your personal perspective and worldview, that you can like acknowledge, like, hey, like, you know, I believe that you believe, and like I want to figure out how to best help you, I feel like is a little bit more compassionate versus like, this is wrong because XYZ, because he's viewing it from his own very specific perspective.
One of the best examples of I believe that you believe is actually in season 3 of The Leftovers, if you've ever watched it. It's one of the most poignant TV moments that makes me sob. That last season of The Leftovers, I like might as well. It's like there's more times I'm not crying than crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that's just another example that I think would benefit people from watching.
Great. Amazing. Well, should we Rotten Tomatin this?
Let's Rotten Tomatin this.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
What do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Justin, let's start with you. What do you think this is the critic score that we guess?
Oh, the critic? Ooh, critically?
268 reviews.
Oh, I would probably put this at like probably a 65.
Okay. Nikisha.
Yeah, I was going to say 62. Well, I'm saying 62.
Jamie.
Like a 57.
This has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, damn.
That's awesome.
The audience score is 62%.
Ugh.
Okay.
Haters.
That's nuts.
And the critics' consensus is Sam Raimi returns to top form with Drag Me to Hell, a frightening, hilarious, delightfully campy thrill ride.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, something to be
fantastic.
said about Sam Raimi, and we may have talked about this on the Send Help episode that I just want to put in here quickly, is that the fact that he did, as Justin mentioned, these 3 mega movies. There weren't bigger movies at that time, like literally. And then what he wants to decide to do is go back to his roots and do a small horror movie. And he still did it this year, where then he did the Wizard of Oz bad movie, and then he did Doctor Strange,
Madness, which was a weird way how he got roped into that, but that's a whole other podcast.
If Multiverse of Madness got us Rachel McAdams and Send Help, then I'm all for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Also, the last half hour of Multiverse of Madness is pure Sam Raimi goodness. But anyway, I just really enjoy that. Okay, what do you think this has as its score on Letterboxd? As a reminder to our listeners, Letterboxd is 0 through 5 with decimal points. Let's go reverse order. Jamie, why don't you start?
They're haters. 3.1.
All right, Nikisha.
2.8.
Justin.
Ooh, I would say, yeah, they do be hating on Letterboxd, so probably 2.9.
3.2.
That's what I was going to say, and then I went 0.1 instead.
But Price is Right rules, you still won.
Woo.
All right, and the top 3 most popular reviews at number 3. Sure, all these fancy modern horror movies are serious studies of trauma, but you know what's better? When an old lady pukes worms and maggots into someone's mouth.
Yes. Yes.
The second most liked review, a film for cat lovers.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
That's
And
diabolical.
And the number 1 liked review on Letterboxd is more films should thoroughly hate their main character as much as this one does.
Yes.
Oh man, that's so
yes.
good. All right, should we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Yes.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
The 4 S's are skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. We rank this movie based on those. Skulls is how well this handles mental health and human behavior, 1 through 10. Scares, how scary is it, 1 through 10. And shakes, is this one that you can shake off easily, or is this going to last with you for a while, 1 through 10? And then we'll stop there, and then we'll do all of our suggestions. Jamie, why don't you start us out?
Sure thing. For skulls, I gave this a 7.5. For scares, I gave this a 4 because mouths, ew. And for shakes, I gave this an 8.
All right, Nikisha.
Mine are so similar. We're just 0.5 off. I put a 7 for skulls, a 4 for scares, and 8 for shakes. Mm-hmm.
Love it. And Justin.
Pretty similar stuff. I was gonna say 7, 4, and then 7.
Nice.
Damn.
Mine are similar. I'm going 7. I'm going 3, and I'm going 9.5.
Damn.
Nice.
I just think this movie is awesome. Also, this conversation gave it the 0.5 because everything that's happening underneath the surface of this is just kind of a miracle and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Suggestions. I already blew my load with that one. Send Help. This is a companion piece to Self-Help. Send Help. Nikisha, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I feel like when we did a podcast of this movie that I'm about to say, Jamie had put in her suggestions, Drag Me to Hell. So I feel like I'm doing the reverse, but it just works so well to me. And that's the Evil Dead 2013 remake with this.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Jamie.
I have a lot, so let me go last.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
I'm
Justin.
crossing out the ones that other people said, so I crossed out Send Help.
I have 4.
All right.
Nice.
I feel like if you dig this film, you will like at least would like to watch these 4, I would say Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
The anthology film. People are gonna hate me for this. Malignant.
Yes, that was
Yes.
good.
Yes.
This is a pro
We are a
malignant podcast.
pro-malignant
Yeah.
This is a
podcast.
pro malignant podcast.
Malignant
We love
Yes.
Sisters, brother.
Yes. So good.
HBO
Chuck's
Gabriel.
gonna be- Chuck's gonna be so happy. I put Barbarian.
This
Also have Barbarian on my list.
this is a pro barbarian
there.
podcast.
And then I also put Cabin in the Woods.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It
totally.
just has that similar, like, it's horror, but there's fun to be had, and it doesn't.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's my 4.
Amazing.
Great.
And Justin
choices.
Long has the best death in Barbarian too, so that's
Oh,
also one of those
so
like,
good.
people getting what they fucking deserve. In that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great film.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie.
So yeah, some of mine were said. I also had Send Help, Barbarian, Malignant. I have Evil Dead 2. I have Doctor Strange, Mom. I have Spider-Man 2. And then the last one I have is Starry Eyes. How far would you go?
Great.
Starry Eyes is a great pick.
Good one.
That's yeah.
I like
I
Yes.
need to rewatch that movie.
Starry Eyes is so good. That was one of our first episodes ever.
Yeah.
It was.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what, 4 years ago, whatever it is. Yeah, Starry
Yeah.
Eyes.
Love it.
Cool.
Okay.
We
Great.
did it.
Well, that
We got-
wraps up
we got
our
dragged.
episode. We got
We
dragged.
got dragged.
But we came back just to give this
Mhm.
podcast to you. Thank you so much, Justin, for being here and joining us. Again, as Brian had mentioned, all of the links for everything that Justin does will be available in the description link. You can follow us on the socials, Instagram, TikTok at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. So, like, if you're a visual podcast person, hey, YouTube, follow us on YouTube, subscribe there. Hit the bell for notifications. And then if you are just a listener, if you love to listen, you can find us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts auditorily, and of course, Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And
thank you.
And it should be mentioned that, Justin, you do talk a little mental health on your podcast as well. Yes? No? Maybe
here
so?
and there, I got a little bit of shit on my first episode, which like I kind of understood because I was like, oh, it's a horror movie podcast, but this first episode just a fucking therapy session. But I'm trying to like, I really did enjoy this podcast because I feel like there is so much that people don't really dive into with like, it's not that deep, bro. But like, it really is, and I think it's just very important. So I'm trying to find a way of like when I start getting into like talking about like specific films, like talking about it in that way, because I've been going to therapy now for like 3-4 years, and it's training my brain to like look at that. My therapist is currently on she's having a kid, which congratulations, Jordan. So I haven't been for a couple months, but looking to jump back into that when she's available. I think it's just super important to go to therapy and like talk about that layer to films, especially within horror, because it's whether you want to see it or not, that shit is there. So
yeah, totally.
Also, and absolutely, do whatever the fuck you want to do, Justin. If that's what you want to do, go for it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Talk about it.
I'll do it, whatever I want. But like trying to find a way of like kind of blending that. I think you guys blend it incredibly well. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, just another shout out to his Tusk podcast, where he really breaks down the Justin Long characters, like what he's dealing with, and why the movie is an allegory for certain things. And I thought it was really well done.
thank you.
I'm also, again, I saw Tusk. I missed my flight to New Orleans like 10 years ago, and we couldn't go back to our house. So we went to the movies with our luggage, and we were the only people at a 10 a.m. Tusk.
And you saw at 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. is crazy work,
That's
dude.
crazy behavior. Yes.
Yes.
That's some shit
Anyway.
I would do.
Yeah.
If I never have to see that movie, I will be very pleased.
We got to do it. It has to.
No,
we
don't
gotta
make
figure
me
out a way.
watch this
We have to
movie.
figure out a way.
An interesting movie. I get yelled at on Facebook. They're like, "Do you talk about anything other than Tusk?" And it's like, it does views. It does views. Because people just have. It's such a clearly. If you listen to my podcast, it's a very understood, misviewed film. But
Sure.
I did at last Fantastic Fest. I talked about it. I'm pretty sure, but I got a 30-second interaction with Justin Long, and I used that 30 seconds to look this man in his face and say Tusk is a masterpiece. And he smirked and was like, "Thank you so much. I was just talking to Kevin about maybe doing a sequel, so I will relay the." I was like, "For the love of Christ, please give me Moose Jaws, which we were supposed to get, or a Tusk 2. And he's like, "All right, dude, thank you. Have a great day and stuff." I turned around. I told Chuck and Gigi. I was like, "We get Tusk 2. I always want it to be known that it's this moment right here."
Yes.
I'm responsible.
Hell yes.
Oh
Well,
my God.
I think you just earned your spot on the Tusk episode that we will eventually.
I literally was gonna say, just
Yeah.
come on over when we do
Yeah.
the episode. We'll have you on again.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Let's go.
Well, Jim, you have to finish all the Kevin Smith movies, you know?
Yoga Hosers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie's like, I can't. Not ready.
Anyway.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Brian, do you have a quote you want to leave us as we
Yeah, get your pig knuckles off my desk.
Amazing. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Justin. Bye, everyone.